Ambrosia salad's everlasting at
Yeah.
the picnic. That is trash.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of After the Last Rental, where I bring the poor.
And I bring the gore. I'm Zach.
I'm Mike, and if you're new here, this is how it works. Zach picks a tape from his home video store, which you can see in behind him, and I get to pick what we are drinking this evening. So, Zach, what do we have for us?
We are watching the cinematic masterpiece, the the horror movie equivalents of MTV's TRL, House of Wax from 2005.
Now, this was
It's
a
what it
fun one.
is.
I didn't realize that we had kind of been stuck in the 80s a bit. Or was it the 90s? No, we were in the 90s. We were like mid 90s for the first few episodes there. And we
Yeah.
thought we'd switch it up. And funny enough, like you threw this one out there and it had been on my radar and I had watched it in theaters when it first came out. But I thought what was cool, and we'll do a quick shout out here, is you just came off filming with John Abrams with the movie Fractured, along with a few other horror royalty. And I think that's pretty cool that you were just with the man who we're going to talk about the film this evening. But yeah, you were just
Yep.
hanging with him, casual, in the film. You,
Yeah,
Boris.
he was he was he's a pretty nice guy. Dude, I was an extra, obviously, and just hanging out, and like I was like sitting there in a cubicle, and my friend Aubrey's in the cubicle next to me, and like it like clicked on me. He's like, John was like right over here, like directly from me. I'm looking at him, and I'm like, holy that's the guy from Kids. Holy heck, that's the guy from Kids. That wasn't a
That's my
sweat.
first reference as well as kids.
Dude, I was like, no way. And then I was like, I fanboyed a little bit, and he was just like, oh yeah, that was my first movie. I was like, you're so cool.
A very important movie. All right, Zach, what does the back of the box say?
Well, let me read. When the car breaks down on a road trip, six college friends are sidetracked into an eerie backwoods town. Curiosity gets the best of them when they are intrigued by its macabre house of wax. They soon find out the town is not what it seems, and they must find their way out before they fall victim to its ghoulish, inventive killers.
Hmm.
Macabre House of Wax. What a. But yeah, this tape, fucking not an easy one to get your hands on, tell you that.
Well, I don't know the scarcity or rarity of tapes, but I was kind of surprised that you had that one ready to go too, kind of going there. So I mean, the video store has it all. Terrorx Video just
Yep, even
has
some
it.
naughty ones are over
Yeah.
there.
Okay, up in the corner there. All right.
Just,
Um,
just the Madams family.
someone watching this is zooming in on your video right now and trying to read the spines of whatever you have there.
Perverts.
Um, Zach, you're sipping something. I need to pour something, and that's what I kind of promise in the intro, right? Is I deliver the pour. Um, so this one's a fun one because House of Wax, super on the nose, low hanging fruit, but I'm going with Maker's Mark, and the OG Maker's Mark. Now, I thought, of course, like I said, it's a given. You look at the iconic red wax strip, but they were the first to do it. And there's one more really cool connection to this. And not just because my name is on the bottle. I got this gifted from Maker's Mark, which is cool. So we got Whiskey Morg if you're watching video version, and then 666. The most
And,
evil, probably the most evil Maker's Mark bottle that exists. But
and mine has my name on it. Insert post production Arax video.
the other connection to this is um Margie Samuels, so Bill Samuels, who started Baker's, his wife was like, we need to differentiate ourselves. We need to do something that makes us stand out. So she came up with the wax dip, and they were saying that she kind of took to her like fried chicken approach and started using her fryer in the kitchen and started boiling down or frying down some wax and then dipped the bottle in there as the first like attempt. Now, this makes me think of the opening scene of House of Wax because we get the old stovetop approach to making wax. So I was like, okay, cool. It's a little bit more of a clever tie-in. I went very on the nose just because it's Makers is the House of Wax when it comes to like the whiskey world, and so much that they have it trademarked that if anybody else uses red wax dripping, they'll get a cease and desist papers sent to them.
So, dude, so like after they started waxing their bottles, their chicken just sucked real bad. Like
Yeah,
this,
the fried
this,
chicken
this tastes
was
like
no
waxed
longer the
fruit.
same.
What the fuck?
So I'm gonna pour some of this, and Zach, cheers. Let's dive into this.
Cheers, wrong glass.
A good glass pours from the morgue.
Oh, this whole thing? Found it at a thrift store.
Already? Yeah.
So that actually kind of plays really well because I think like being highbrow would make you not like House of Wax. It's,
All right. And before we get into this, just to introduce everybody to the three sip system, okay? So we goes nose, palate, finish. Um, on the nose, we're looking at initial impressions. How did we feel going into the movie? Expectations, any memories before watching it? So Zach, I'll let you kick this off with your what you brought to the table when throwing this one in the VHS player.
Well, leading into this, I remember the incredible the marketing. They're just like, dude, we have super hot actresses and actors. They're so hot. We're gonna slap them in Louisiana. They're all, you just want to see them all die. And it was like I said, it was very I remember it being like very like MTV esque like driven. I don't even know if like TRL was around in '05. I'd imagine. I
Hey,
don't
the
know. I didn't
reference
look.
landed really well when you threw it out in the
Dude,
beginning. Yeah,
that's what it makes me
exactly
think
it.
of.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, they had like a campaign like pushing it. It was like "See Paris Die" was like their big like promotion shtick because I guess nobody liked Paris Hilton. Like, yeah, but like you look at the cast, like you have the girl from the girl next door, obviously Paris Hilton, the kid from Cousin Skeeter. Chad Michael Murray.
Yeah.
Is that one guy from that TV show everybody really likes?
Supernatural.
Yeah, is that the Supernatural guy?
Yeah, Jared Padalecki. So this was like prior. This was like what House of Wax is 2005, and then like I think 2009 Supernatural kicked off, and
He was just in The Boys the other week.
yeah, I mean this is so like even in their infancy. So we had some stars
Oh,
already kind of with traction, and then people who would go on to be on
and
everything.
what an embarrassing thing not to mention John Abrams, or like guy was great. I mean, he was really really in his fruition at this time.
And not just because you have a really nice picture with him that I'll throw up on screen here in post production.
At the time, as a 15-year-old, not that I was right. I mean, I was probably being a little bit of a prick. But it was just like, look at it's just a bunch of like super hot famous kids are gonna die. Like, I'd rather watch not that. And and then I watched it, and I remember not being particularly a big fan of it then. It wasn't bad this time around. I had fun.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same camp. So the marketing must have been really well done because that's the first thing that came to mind was the whole see Paris die. And again, looking back at it now, there's a greater appreciation for like, she has her finger on the pulse when it comes to, pop culture and marketing and, even though she played kind of like the ditz, and that's what kind of drove her to fame. But yeah, I remember an interesting point you made that like I wasn't that interested because um at that point I'd been into a lot of old horror films and I grew up with them. My cousins were kind of showing me the ropes and I got to watch a lot of really cool stuff. So here I was with like, okay, I don't really care for this like MTV version, big name stars on here, but I did go to the theater to watch it because I guess 2005, I would have been in grade 12 and going on a few dates or hanging out with friends. I don't remember who I watched it with, but I remember watching this one in theaters. And yeah, at the time, I think I kind of like scoffed at it and was like, yeah, like whatever. Yeah, but I think, this time around, like you said, it was pretty fun and we'll get into it. So, the palette, we look at core flavors, what worked, what didn't work, acting, kills, story, atmosphere. There's a whole lot to unpack here.
There
Um,
is.
yeah, so Zach, what's one of the things that kind of like stood out for you revisiting it now 20 years later?
Uh, the one thing that stands out to me the most, and this is gonna be a bit like I don't know, unnecessary, but they're driving to the biggest college football game of the year, right? Which in turn they're planning on camping out on the way, which means it was a long drive. And the cousin Skeeter and Paris Hilton are driving an Escalade. It was that what is the EXT, the one that had like the not didn't have the third row seating, right?
Yeah.
Which if it had that third row seating, it would have been cherry. But like instead, we'll have two people in this Escalade, and then four people in a '68 Dodge Charger for across like at least a state drive. Like there ain't no way I would ever drive a '68 Charger across a state to go to a fountain. It just seemed like that the Escalade guy really missed out not getting the
The
third
third
row
row. Yeah.
seating.
I noted here that ask Zach if the car stuff checks out, but I was thinking more of the drive belt that we get into later, and the mechanic shop seems to just have a variety of drive belts. This is obviously the thing, but I didn't even think about just the driving situation at the beginning, right? Like I didn't even like they're driving beside the Cadillac and there's the whole like, oh, did she drop whatever she dropped on the ground, her phone or her lighter, and her head's kind of
Chapstick, I
like
think.
chapstick. Yeah, it's always the chapstick.
Yeah.
And her head's kind of bobbing. But yeah, the rest are packed into the 68 Dodge.
like, like I don't know, like there's no bad there's no way the conversation in the Escalade was that bad. You're like, dude, just let me in the back seat of the Charger.
I dig the beginning. I think like, the beginning kind of brought me back in more, not just because Deftones Minerva plays. And I was like, oh, that's one thing that I forgot. I mean, we're almost at the we're on the cusp of when soundtracks started to suck. Like we still were getting like the really good mixtapes. So we have Deftones playing. That sold me. I love the idea of like the handheld, like the camera, recording everything. So this is like the infancy of the internet, and like I guess it's like the start of vlogging and recording everything. And we've seen that kind of popping up in movies at the time. Like I think it was a Scream 4 leaned into that. So I was like really digging the like looking back at it now, kind of like the zeitgeist of the time, and that they're recording things, and it seems fun and campy, and like we've seen this before, but have we seen this one?
But have we seen it like this?
Have we seen it
The
like
Joe
this?
Bob
Yeah.
line?
Yeah.
Growing up, like I felt like current horror movies weren't cool compared to like older stuff for some reason. So like I didn't appreciate a lot of movies when they came out, and then like revisiting like this particular era of movies, I'm just like, God, I cannot get enough of them.
Yeah.
So the beginning of this movie, when the one kid's eating a nice bowl of Cheerios while the mom's smoking smokes and melting down wax,
Yeah. A few
and
ciggies,
then
yeah.
the dad comes in with the feral child, right? And they put him on this high chair and like leather strap him, and then duct tape the leather strap. Like I don't know how strong this kid is to be just like ripping it. Like you're not confident in leather straps. Like this kid needs an NFL contract like instantly. Like this dude's just uncontrollably strong. like like wasn't enough. But then like he scratches his mom and she wrecks him.
Yeah.
Like they hit the kid, you're like, oh Jesus! It's like that was a personal
For
swing.
for putting duct tape on leather straps, like you're really ballsy with what you just did to the guy.
Yeah, right. Like, another thing I'd like to point out: is when they're camping and like, oh, what's that smell? Like smells like, they're like on and on about like how horrible it smells. It ends up being like a wildlife kill dump off yonder.
Yeah.
Which not to toot my own horn. Actually, I don't even think this is a flex. However, I have come across a few of these in my day. It is true, 100%. I've used to do a lot of things involving dead stuff. That sounds so sketchy.
Um, in case you're wondering where Zach is taking this, Zach has Zach. Oh, we'll bring it back to Fracture film with John Abrams, but Zach does a lot of really cool bone art. And I guess that starts with like having to find the bones. I think that's the best way of kind of putting it. Like the bones just don't appear on your front lawn
Yeah,
sometimes.
you get bones, but but he was right. The hillbilly in the truck was right. And the one thing I did like that I liked about the portrayal of the tow truck driver is like it was like pretty much a straight shooter the whole time, and they're just like being mean to
Yeah.
him. He's just like, "Nah, man, it's just a mannequin. Like, yeah, it's just a bunch of dead stuff. Like, oh yeah, this is a knife. I need it for what I do. Like." And then like when he's like they stop at like the washed out road. He's like, "What are we doing?" He's like, "It's a fucking washed out road, dude. I gotta lock my hubs. We're going four wheel." And like they're like, absolutely not." And then like he's like, "Okay."
But then they get to go to this the town of Ambrose, and for me, the town itself was really cool. They built this entire set for the film that they didn't like really use any existing places. Everything was kind of this world was created. Now I don't know if any of this stuff already kind of existed and they was like reused. I didn't
I
go
think
that far.
didn't they base it on another town? I think that was like it was based on something. It was I think it was like they were shooting for like another the look of another movie's town.
I heard about that. The gas station, especially. It was
Yeah.
something with a gas station.
$1.19 a gallon, brother.
The real horror of this entire film, just stop right here, is looking at the gas prices.
Like, dude, I drive an Escalade too.
In
Like,
this economy.
yeah.
But for me watching it, like um even we'll get into it after like how many films this calls back to, but I like the set. I respect it even more that it was like custom built because I know that this was like the MTV horror film, but they put something like $40 million into it, which is insane. And I feel like right now when horror is doing well in like our current market, they're still trying to spend wisely, and you're not really getting the same kind of production value. Everyone wants to bank on horror because the return can be really good depending on film and franchise. But I really respected that they came out with this one. They knew they had star power, but they still dumped 40 million into it and gave us Ambrose, and I'm appreciative of it because I think it was cool for the film.
Does it like Ambrose mean like lasting forever or something? It's like some sort of like oh my goodness. So I remember I looked this up once because my buddy was talking about ambrosia salad, and I was like, hold on, we're gonna get to the bottom of Ambrose because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it has like a pretty suitable meaning.
What's funny
Immortal,
and
divine, everlasting.
di-
Double
clever.
meaning. Get it?
I I missed this opportunity as an English teacher by day. I always tell my students like if someone picks an obscure town or they pick character names, like find out what they mean. And here I am. I didn't even look into what does Ambrose mean, but eternal, everlasting doesn't
It
get
definitely
much more
it's
literal than
definitely
that.
ambrosia salads everlasting at the
Yeah.
the picnic. That is trash. All right. So the Museum of Wax was made entirely out of wax in this movie. That was
Mhm.
the story. And like when they're like hearing or Victor hears them like come in through the upstairs, like the whole house is made of wax. Like that's gonna be pretty soundproof.
Yeah.
Like like earplugs are made out of wax. Like you're living inside a giant earplug. The only other name in this movie that like really sticks out to me is Wade. And the only reason Wade sticks out to me because that man got his comeuppance for being kind. Wade was an insecure boyfriend, which
Mhm.
is mm, what a
Yeah.
trash characteristic.
Yeah.
And then he was like also like kind of shitty to like the tow truck guy, and then also I mean he did technically walk into a funeral. Well, I mean he didn't know it wasn't a real funeral, but like
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like most of this movie was Wade dying. Like like this guy got his Achilles tendon cut and then got stabbed in like the collar, like oh, it was like up here, like oh, whatever's over there, and then like gets his face like hair removed while like well he they got like that a tranquilizer so he couldn't yammer about but could
Yeah.
still be cautious and feel everything, which is I don't know lousy on his part, but and then like gets put in this chair and just covered in boiling hot wax, which I think would be like the hardest way to make a like a wax figure. If you think about it, like let's just cover him in a bunch of wax and like scrape most of it off till it looks like him. Like, why don't we just rub it on him? Like,
Yeah. So I think like you know what like I think this here was like them trying to go very Saw. That's what it reminded me of. Like even the way that his face is
yeah,
kind of like
the contraption.
yeah, it's very like it reminded me of Saw. But I was laughing too because like they went hard on him with when they waxed his face first to kind of take off all the facial hair. I was like, yo, at that time. I was using Nair. No, Nair just wiped off. Like, I mean, I did the whole face wax like that itself painful. But then, yeah, sitting him in the chair, I feel like that's where it became more theatrics because, like you said, to your point, if you're trying to sculpt something, I don't know if that would be the best way of going about it. But then, yeah, I just in a long line of movie references, I feel like torture porn was big at the moment. I see like kind of like this Saw influence, and obviously we're looking at studios looking at what's successful at the time. So I feel like that might have played a part in kind of building up this, like even like the wax. How does that work? The wax is in pipes, and then it just gets heated and then sprays out. Was kind of
Yeah,
weird to me.
I'll be honest, never once worked in a wax museum
Yeah,
or an amateur waxing museum, but
yeah,
yeah, it seemed like I don't know, like so like what I got from that scene was like like every horror movie has their one like this is the kill, right? And I
yeah,
think they're obviously pushing see how Paris dies, right? But obviously Paris wasn't gonna get tortured through the whole movie. And the supernatural man, they're just like, sorry, buddy, you got the short straw.
yeah,
But like, yeah, like he was dying for a very long time. And then
yeah.
and then like when his like skin peels off in the tussle and like it's
That
just
was
like
cool.
that was super cool looking. But like yeah, like it looked really good. But then like in practice, like other parts of the movie where they're like I'd assume a lot of these wax figurines have been there for a while. They're made out of people. And like when like you break like the one lady like the one arm in the church breaks and it's just like all red and like looks like you're like oh that was obviously a person at one point. But like what's in this wax? Like what kind of preservative like it's still rot like
This is
like
this is where we should have Ev corpse review on here to
yes.
look at body
Put up the corpse review
decomposition.
bat light.
I'm pretty sure he did House of Wax too. So Ev, if you're watching this, I'm gonna shoehorn in some images of like the real science behind behind what happens here. So segue. Okay, let's use this as a segue because my biggest thing for you, Zach, was, and I say segue because you did a collab on Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Ev Corpse Review. And I feel like this film, there's a lot of tourist traps. So I mentioned like the movie references. So the premise is essentially tourist trap,
Yeah.
but idea of like the town, like the family being in on it, um, was very reminiscent of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So did you feel like, I guess like for me, I guess where my thing came from the deranged like hillbilly family was that as much as like it was fun, I feel like this is where it kind of pulled away from its own identity as a film. Like I said, I already feel like there's a Saw reference, and I feel like even if we want to really push at the Achilles, the slash to the Achilles tendon, like the Pet Cemetery reference, I feel like it's kind of shoehorning like all these really fun things about like horror that we know. And I felt like it, and when I say Texas Chainsaw, I say let's say it all encompassing because the original and I think even probably more so the 2003 version where like everyone's in on it. You go to the gas station, like the family's running that, and I felt like there was a bit of that going on in here that kind of pulled me away from it.
Uh, I don't know if I pick it up entirely the what you're putting down because like obviously the tow truck guy, like I mean they're kind of open-ended whether or not he was intending to for them to die. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? He is like I mean he was like what their brother, but like he did send them to get a belt and that guy did have belts.
he did. Yeah, I know he did have. He had a wide variety of belts.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was just like, yeah, dude, this guy will definitely hook you up. But
yeah.
like aside from that, I mean, like it being only two people just having free reign of this giant town, and like uh, I'm not sure if it was supposed to like if their intention was that the roadblock they set up to like funnel people in, and
Hmm.
then when that first tow truck comes in, that was like kind of scouting like what they were working with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't.
I think, I think it was for me more of like the like Vincent brother in the basement. And at one point they're like, get him, effing freak, like, and just kind of treating him like, like our Leatherface. So I feel like there was like those elements that kind of sold it to me, like the deranged
Yeah,
family,
yeah.
like redneck, and then the one deranged brother who is like abnormal, and even calling him like the freak and treating him like that made me think of like a Leatherface
Oh
callback.
yeah, okay, that's more making sense to me because yeah, like yeah, the well, I mean, I mean, obviously, Vincent wasn't like uh he didn't seem like he was dumb. I mean, he was listening to classical music, making
He
really
was.
really nice wax boobs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, his brother, the mean guy, was definitely like had like a thumb on him. But yeah, yeah, I get that because then yeah. Yeah.
They should have had Vincent listen to Goodbye Horses while doing his breast sculpture there, but no, but
Yeah.
yeah, but no, but it's funny because like he himself doesn't come off as like foolish or clumsy. Poor guy just lost half of his face when he was born to a conjoined twin. Like poor guy, like but yeah, it was kind of like I feel like at the end when they said like get him, you effing freak, I was just like, okay, the brother's being mean to him.
That's rude.
Yeah, it's really
I'm
rude, right?
helping,
Like,
bro.
yeah. So I didn't get that idea of him, but then when he said that, I was like, oh, are they trying to again like play it? It just what it was for me is like I enjoy this film, and we won't get the final thoughts just yet, but it just kind of started getting muddled along the way where like I still like the effects I thought were cool. Like yeah, like the limbs breaking off and the jaw being exposed, and like regardless of like the nuances to how you properly wax somebody or the preservation of someone under wax, I was still like this is cool, and I appreciate it. So I feel like there were so many unique aspects that could give it its own identity, but then I kept going back and forth with like I feel what I felt like movie references that they thought maybe like big production franchises would that it would sell.
Yeah, I just want to like know like how this town's like a dead town, right? And like nobody goes there, or like but like there's like no like hard-boiled detective like a town over. Like man, there's a lot of people missing. Like
Yeah.
this is really wild. And also like why is there so much wax getting shipped to this dead town? Like there's an absorbent amount of wax trucks on this road. Like like
This
that's
is
a
why I
lot.
have you
You
here
got a whole
because
building.
I noted that I started deep diving like most like on-screen kills or indirect references to kills. And like I was like, where does this land? And people threw out different numbers. Some people were saying we see like 60 bodies that are like between the church and the theater. That and you know, and then the actual kills in the film. They were saying it's about 60. And I was like, yeah, where does this number land? Because there's a whole lot going on there. But the reason why I have Zach joining me all the time, or why Zach's my best friend, is that he's the one to be like, how are they shipping in this much wax to this remote town? Because
Yeah,
there's a lot.
yeah, no cops driven by. Like, I mean, there's like hypothetically, for somehow they're like locally sourcing their own wax. Like, I don't know, maybe they do like it's all beeswax. It's like the good stuff. Like, but like never once a cop drove by. Like, man, there is a lot of unregistered cars on this street. Like, also, there's so much wax here.
All right, so final sip. This lingering impact. Like, does the movie stick with us? Would we rewatch it? Where do you stand with this?
So I would rewatch it, but not because it's like one of those movies you're like, wow, that really moved me, or like, like it wasn't like monumental, but it is a fun movie to watch, and it looks good. It's so of its time. I think like I it's something I enjoy finding, like movies that like seem like a very like, dude, that is 2005. That's about as 2005 as you get.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think it's like opening up a time capsule. And the most like honest reaction that I got, so talking to Mal today about us doing this episode, I said, I'm kind of like in the middle and and I'm not sure, like I really enjoy it, but there's things I'll be critical of. And she got very defensive and was like, no, like House of Wax is awesome. And but I think that just speaks to what that like meant at the time. And like you said, it's just kind of like this, it really is telling of everything that was going on in 2005. So I definitely would rewatch it again. It's fun. It's like it's by no means scary at all. And I think that's the big thing. But that's a big thing for me is that like other films that even if I say they're not the greatest, like maybe there's like it's intended to be scary and it's kind of it has its moments. But this one here to me, like not a second was scary, but it was fun the whole way through. And even if I'm poking fun at it, it was super enjoyable. So I feel like I would
yeah.
come back around to this.
Yeah, like a movie doesn't have to be groundbreaking for me to have fun. Like I like, like I feel like people need to be able to appreciate movies that aren't like technically great more.
Mhm.
It's like if like like, oh well, like the cinematography or like the acting or yada yada is like, not up to par. Like, yeah, well, I mean, we're having fun, like it's all right.
My
All
hot
right.
take, here's a hot take. My hot take is that people are more forgiving of what we saw in the 80s with horror, of like completely ridiculous, over the top, funny even, but people will kind of like, put on a pedestal or make it like holy grail. But then we get very critical in the 2000s.
I think if you say you like House of Wax or you say you don't like House of Wax, it's not too contrarian either like end of the scale.
Yeah.
It's not like, when people are like, dude, Halloween 3 is the best movie ever. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Makes so
Yeah.
much sense. Yeah, just look like it's not a Halloween movie. Pretty easy, still sucks.
So, final part of this is we give it the poor rating. So, neat is perfect. On the rocks, solid but flawed, and then watered down, skip it. I'll kick this one off. I've never given this one out before. I'm on the rocks, like, but I might sip it neat depending on the night. Like, I think that like it has its flaws, but at the same time, the charm is so strong and like, what it's representative of and what it's meant to be is kind of like Mike, chill out, like you said, like, pour a drink, in enjoy it. It's fun. Have a good time. So yeah, I'm gonna say like officially on the rocks, but I feel like the on depending on the night, it could be neat.
I'm also gonna say it's on the rocks. Like it's fun. I don't think it's not gonna make any top list for me, but I'm not upset that I watched it, and I will watch it again. Uh, like again, it's fun, and I think that's like I don't know when people. I think it's like the most important part of like a horror movie. If you're enjoying yourself, like one way or another, whether you're
Yeah.
like, oh, it scared the jeebies out of me, or if you're like, dude, that was ridiculous. I still had fun.
Yeah.
Um, the just I think Vincent looked cool enough, and like on his own, that I'd be like, yeah, I like this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why he was had such long hair while working in wax. That seems like it'd be really complicated,
Yeah.
especially always to have your hair down, dude. Like
Yeah.
you're asking for trouble.
I mean, you would know firsthand with those locks, but
But
I think
the
I
GC
think
is gonna tell you to pull that up immediately.
I think what it comes down to, a good way to wrap it up is that like the movie's reputation was shaped by like people wanting to hate it. I think when it was first released, they did lean into it. I think it did well. I think it did well because of that still. But I think as people have put their guard down over the years and we're not in 2005, um, then we really see it.
You see anybody?
No, nobody.
Hello?
I don't think anyone's here. Hey, there's that house of wax. It is wax. Literally.
This is weird.
Looks like a hell of a party. Look how detailed this is. Tell me this doesn't look real.
All right, so that's it for After the Last Rental. If you dig what we're doing, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what you want to see Zach pull off the shelf for future episodes. Until next time, keep your tapes rewound and your glasses full. Zach, cheers, brother.
Cheers.